The first trailer for Captain America Brave New World has dropped, and with it our first glimpse of the Red Hulk. Shown at the tail end of the trailer and again on the first promotional poster for the film, we now have firm confirmation that Big Red is indeed in the movie. And honestly, that's a good thing because we need another Hulk in the MCU. After all, we never really get to see regular Hulk. Everybody was mad at She-Hulk for some reason, despite the fact that it was marketed as a comedy, and it was a comedy. And then we have whatever the hell this thing is, because that's not Scar. Alright, big spoilers right up front in the video, and I'm just going to go out and say the big twist up front. Most of you already know this anyway, but unless you've been living under a rock for almost 2 decades, I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to start today's video off by telling you that Red Hulk is the monstrous alternate form of Bruce Banner's #1 hater, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. Yes, Thunderbolt Ross has made a career out of being a prolific hater, but you're a liker, so make sure to hit that like button before we go any farther. It really helps out the video, and drop a comment down below letting us know what color you would be if you were a Hulk. I'd be orange, like a Gatorade Hulk. So without further ado, today is the comic book origins of the Red Hulk. Red Hulk's first full comic book appearance is actually Hulk #2 by Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. However, the more prized collectible issue is actually #1 of that very same run. And I know that Red Hulk is visible on the cover of issue #1, that's why it's the more expensive issue, but we'll get to why that is in a second. The next few minutes are going to summarize a lot of comics, most of an entire volume of Hulk, so I'm going to cut out the junk that doesn't really matter. Red Hulk's first appearance, like I said, was on the cover of issue #1, but the character of Red Hulk doesn't actually appear in that issue. He doesn't appear until the next issue. It's kind of a weird promotion, but it is what it is. First, I'll walk you through these first 5 or 6 issues, then we'll go back in time and outline how Ross underwent this transformation. In Russia, Leonard Samson, otherwise known as Doc Samson, is reviewing the aftermath of carnage caused by a battle between 2 unknown beings believed to be Hulk and Abomination. She-Hulk is on the scene with Samson to aid in the process. What's weird though, is that after the fight was already over, it seems like whoever killed the Abomination ended up doing it with some type of specialized gun. Keep in mind, this is all forensics work, they're purely speculating. Iron Man, Maria Hill, and General Thunderbolt Ross from S.H.I.E.L.D. are also there examining the Abomination's shot-up body, and they notice that the culprit gave off so much radiation that it scorched the earth, melting the sand and creating glass where the footprints were. However, as the investigation continues, a Russian superhero team named the Winter Guard arrives to investigate the death of Emil Blonsky, as he was considered a Russian citizen. Honestly, I think this is a way of squeaking out one more fight because they never show up again during this run, but a fight does break out as it always does in comics, with Samson fighting Red Guardian, She-Hulk fighting Ursa Major, and Iron Man fighting Crimson Dynamo. However, in the aftermath of that fight, General Ross finds a little girl who gives the group their first clue, repeating the Russian word for red. The book concludes with Ross and Samson going back to a secret underground base where they learn that Bruce Banner is already in custody deep in the underground in a secure facility, indicating that it couldn't possibly have been Hulk that was the killer. Now, issue 2 is actually far more important. Maria Hill, Iron Man, and She-Hulk determine that the gun that was used to kill the Abomination must have been obtained from S.H.I.E.L.D., further limiting suspects. Without warning though, a new Red Hulk is shown smashing into the carrier, grabbing Jennifer savagely, beating her unconscious, and then bouncing. Iron Man locks down the entire helicarrier, but it's too late as Red Hulk is ripping through the hull of the entire helicarrier, searching for the power core to disable it. Iron Man goes down to the core and he finds Clay Quarterman and General Ross are down there as well. However, as soon as Iron Man gives directions on what to do, Red Hulk appears seemingly out of nowhere to attack, which kinda confuses me. How is Thaddeus Ross and Red Hulk there at the same time, you might ask? Well, it's revealed way later in issue 23 that General Ross that we see here is actually a life model decoy used to purposefully misdirect the team away from suspecting Ross, something that he does throughout the entire run. Ross does not want people to know that he's the Red Hulk. Iron Man ends up successfully guiding the helicarrier out of major harm's way as it crashes into the ground in New Jersey. Red Hulk next engages Rick Jones, aka A-Bomb. Get it? A-Bomb, Ination, Abomination? Second Abomination, it's a different one. Anyway, the two fight in the desert, and while this is happening, Tony Stark reviews footage of General Ross talking to Bruce Banner at the isolated facility we discussed earlier. During the battle with A-Bomb, security equipment scans Red Hulk's eyes, assessing his identity, but the equipment is quickly destroyed. As Red Hulk savagely beats A-Bomb, the resulting blows cause the facility housing Bruce Banner deep underground to collapse, and Bruce reverts to his Hulk form, now confronting Red Hulk. And for some random reason, the Watcher appears. I think it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke about how important this battle is, except that Red Hulk knocks the Watcher out immediately. I mean, absolutely beats the ever-living shit out of him. Red Hulk and Bruce have a massive battle, with Red Hulk stating he's here to kill Hulk for ruining people's lives, indicating that of course he knows him already. Red Hulk ends up breaking the Hulk's arm, which he passes out from, and he wakes up on the Brooklyn Bridge with a big old gun in his face. Hulk bites the barrel in an absolutely badass move, breaking it, and then he's thrown into the water, disappearing. So surely there are no other Avengers involved in this fight, right? Wrong, because the God of Thunder and Lightning appears, Thor, and immediately brings the fight to Red Hulk, who absolutely mollywops him. Now, the coolest thing that happens here is that Red Hulk has Thor hold on to Mjolnir, but grabs the hammer and jumps into space, getting around the enchantment because Thor's still holding on to it. Once they're in zero-G, the lifting aspect of the enchantment is nullified, and Red Hulk beats the crap out of Thor with his own hammer before leaving him on the moon and literally jumping back to Earth like Saitama, where he falls into a crater and actually damages most of the San Andreas Fault. Iron Man, being an ultimate bro, tries to bring together a team to Hulk's aid, but Hulk says, "No, I got this," and he skips out on those losers in order to take the fight to Red Hulk himself. He finds Red Hulk in the crater he landed in, unharmed, and the two begin battling again, with Hulk claiming he wasn't ready for Red Hulk before, but now he's ready. Thor and A-Bomb also arrive to assist, but the group collectively identifies that Red Hulk is getting hotter and hotter the madder he gets, but not necessarily stronger than Hulk. Ultimately, Red Hulk kind of burns out in the battle, and the Big Green delivers the knockout blow. Hulk leaves as A-Bomb tries to tell him the secret identity of Red Hulk before being incapacitated by Samson in the life model decoy of General Ross. Now this kind of ends the initial threat of Red Hulk, aka General Ross, but the rest of this whole run really kind of centers around unmasking who he is, and there's some other kind of weird arcs that go on during this time. Things get clearer later in the series, which I'm going to jump forward a bit in time to now and discuss how Red Hulk was created. There's a number of backstory issues, one-off stories, and a story arc where Red Hulk is part of a team of villains called the Offenders that faces against various Defenders from throughout space and time, but none of that stuff is really important, except when Red Hulk kills a number of heroes using the power cosmic before Galactus undoes all of it, but it's kind of effectively makes the entire story filler. Again, not important, but kind of cool. So Ross spends like a dozen issues here trying to keep his identity secret, but it keeps getting compromised over and over again with never anybody really truly figuring out what it is until a couple issues later. We eventually learn in alternate books that Red Hulk was created by a think tank of supervillains called Intelligentsia. MODOK came up with the idea conceptually, and along with the leader figured out how to combine gamma radiation with cosmic rays to implant a Hulk into a test subject. Now the end of issue 23, issue 24, and 25 all kind of recount the many clashes that Ross has with the Hulk and his motivations for becoming Red Hulk before recounting the events that lead to his volunteering to become this new Red Hulk. The Abomination had previously killed his daughter Betty, and Hulk was betrayed by the heroes of Earth, leading to World War Hulk, and the final straw was the death of Captain America during Civil War. It's heavily implied that the leader and MODOK both appealed to Ross's desire to be the one to finally defeat Hulk, as well as the promise of bringing Betty back from the dead. At the end of the storyline World War Hulk, in that battle, Hulk unknowingly has his gamma radiation siphoned off of him and combined with cosmic rays, which are then implanted to Ross, creating the Red Hulk. From there, the group concealed the identity and tactically went about attempting to kill various Hulk villains and heroes associated to bait him out, resulting in the initial battle we discussed earlier in the video. While Red Hulk was initially viewed as a villain, he does eventually get converted to a true hero during the events of Hulk issue 24 and 25. Red Hulk ends up turning on Intelligentsia, and the reason why I haven't really brought up yet is because Intelligentsia does do what Red Hulk wanted them to do. Part of the deal was that they would bring back his daughter Betty, but unfortunately when they do that, they turn her into Red She-Hulk. I'm not going to talk about Red She-Hulk much in this video, I just wanted you to understand the motivations that he had to start turning towards the good side. Now, during issues 24 and 25, we see the conclusion of the arc World War Hulks, which sees that group Intelligentsia I mentioned before attempt to take over the United States with a life model decoy of Glenn Talbot. But Thunderbolt Ross destroys it on TV and attempts to take over the US government by himself. While he does put up a tremendous battle, Thunderbolt is ultimately beaten again by Hulk and imprisoned in a cell this time, but it doesn't last very long. Red Hulk is calmed in a special containment cell and reverts to his human form, where Bruce determines that he would have kept using his powers endlessly, he would have died in a matter of months. Red Hulk is instrumental in ultimately stopping the Intelligentsia's planned Scorched Earth. Captain America and Hulk recruit Red Hulk into the Avengers, and from this point on, Red Hulk kind of acts as an on-again, off-again good guy, becoming a member of various superhero teams like the Avengers, the Savage Avengers, and the Thunderbolts, where the character is still active to this day, and drastically more popular than he ever was before. Red Hulk retains all the speed and strength of the Hulk, but under the caveat that Ross also retains his intellect. While regular Hulk gets stronger the madder he gets, the Red Hulk gets hotter the madder he gets. This strength raises, but he has a proportional limit after which his excess heat and radiation has to be dissipated or the Red Hulk will overheat and collapse. However, the cool thing about that is he has been shown, however, to be able to use this excess heat as a weapon, creating blats from his eyes or radiating off of his body. And that is about it for the comic book origins of the Red Hulk. I hope you guys learned a lot, and if you did, consider liking, subscribing, and doing all that other crap that YouTubers ask you to do. This has been Nick with Key Issues. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember the motto, Red Hulk over everything.